So this next part I'm going to do, and you'll see it on YouTube as well, is going to be called Banks Talks. And I'm going to take questions that you guys randomly throw at me, and I'm going to answer something. So today, some lovely gentleman on Instagram asked me, do I think that m0nesy will be better than S1mple? And the first starting point of this, it's an interesting one, because the way I look at it is, yes, they're both AWPers. They were both young when they started off here. But we're in a situation now where players are starting younger. m0nesy started playing Counter-Strike when he was 5 years old. He's already got nearly the same hours as some like the top pros in the game, maybe more. He's played an insane amount of Counter-Strike. So what we're going to forever get in new star players that are coming up is they will have played more from a younger age, more life dedicated to it. They're learning more. Life situations are different, right? So we're just going to constantly see this in esports until we're like another 20 years deep. No, like maybe 10 years deep. That like these young players are going to come up and they're going to look so good. Now, if we compare them, they are both on the AWP role. They're both playing tier 1 CS. But the way I'm going to do it is to give a comparison. So for me, right now, as we see it, S1mple is the greatest player of all time when it comes to playing CSGO. Maybe in CS in general. He does things S1mple that like you can't explain. You say that shouldn't work, he still manages to pull it off. m0nesy, super fast, very smart player, but like we're going to compare their start to their careers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come onto my in-game side here. We'll start by looking at m0nesy. m0nesy right now, we do complete stats for the past 3 months. 1.23 rating, playing on G2. 17 years old right now. We go on to S1mples. 1.25, 24 years old, playing on Na'Vi. Now, obviously, you've got your impact rating as well. Everything right now is good here. m0nesy, ADR, not so good, but he also has been playing on G2. m0nesy did farm the academy, yeah, which obviously S1mple didn't have to do. There was no academy leagues in there. But if we go back to like the starting points here, so 2019, first games on HLTV, we're going to see how many rounds played, 418. So not even that many at this point. If we go on the 2019 filter, yeah, look at this. Not a lot in there, not even much to take from it. There we go, rounds played, much better, but look at that. Bloody hell. Angel, legendary IGL, Dozier, Sex God, Markelov, obviously was a beast. And Kutcher, I don't really rate him that highly, but he was about at that time. So even then, right, if we come onto our overview, 1.15 rating, 1.19 rating on their first years into it. So obviously m0nesy started younger, yeah? But you guys are right in terms of what you're saying about the level of opponents played. S1mple was playing against tougher opponents in his first opening games on that, right? Now, do I think that, like, so let's go year on year from here. So 2015 for S1mple, he goes up to 1.18. Obviously, there's less years to go through here when it comes to m0nesy. 2022 is a lot bigger for m0nesy. Rating drops down a bit. More rounds played. But I think we'll start to get, yeah, look, more of the academy level teams. But they were still playing against tier 2, tier 3 opposition. So you can't really call it farming just then. But even then, there's not that many HLTV games on play. Where, for S1mple, flip side HR, worst players. But there was a lot here. Look at this. There's so many games. And he is, look, there's some fanatics. There's Nip in it. Like, he is playing against elite teams even at this point. So if you're doing that as a direct side comparison, that's pretty huge in S1mple's favor, right? And people can say what they want. Oh, I'm biased against S1mple. I'm a huge fan of m0nesy. I'm always talking positive about what this kid can do. But there was a significant difference here already in terms of the caliber of teams. Then we go to 2016, 1.15. It drops down a bit. We go 2017. What? Look at the jump up. Look at the jump up. And again, he is playing against the very best. He's on Na'Vi at this point. Okay, people might argue that like he does have a good team, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have the very elite at this point. You still had Zeus spotting it out. Edward getting closer to like the end of his career. Flamey when he was actually in star form though. There were some good times. And Electronic, Mr. Consistent, always been alongside S1mple in that sense. Jesus Christ. It is actually insane when you look at these numbers of what s1mple's been able to do. All right, so then we move to 2018. I think this is when he won his first, yeah, when he won his first best player in the world, you know? 1.35. And this is the thing. 1.36 here. But this is where you're right about the farming junior teams, because this Na'Vi junior roster was playing in the, like, where you can put up these kind of numbers in Smiles NXT, Young Ninjas. Look at that one map, 2.57 rate. I think I covered that game. That's what we play. Yeah? But like a lot of these teams are the junior we play ones. That's going to give you a big buffer up in it. So we can only really count this year, the first top year so far for m0nesy, as being like the year where he's playing good opposition, tier 1 CS the whole way through. Now we go on to s1mple, 2019, 1.30. This is what I mean. So 1.29, 29. Like, these numbers are just ridiculous. 1.35 again, 2021. And then so far here in 2022, 1.28, right? m0nesy has potential to be better as well, because he still has many years ahead of him. So you're going to see this thing eventually, like, and obviously I can't talk and say, yeah, s1mple's going to get worse. Maybe he continues to, maybe he does get better. He is right now the greatest of all time. He's not been touched in terms of CSGO. He's got a great team around him. There's obviously factors in the world that are going to make that very difficult. m0nesy's dealing with the same things, but maybe not the same level, depending on how you look at it. I'm not getting into the politics of it all. But m0nesy right now has a chance to shape himself. But he's also been in teams that are not as stable, you know? Look at all the changes in G2. IGL change. You had, obviously, he didn't work under Nexa. I would have actually really loved to have seen m0nesy work under Nexa. But like, he worked under Alexi B. That didn't work out. That didn't last too long. Now you've got Hooksy. It's looking better. Hopefully, it can be something that can bring some consistency to him. s1mple did it no matter what back then in putting up big numbers. So I wouldn't say that m0nesy's going to be better than s1mple. I'm going to say he can be, over the next few years, a chance to show himself as one of the top ones up there. But he doesn't give me the same feeling. He's a superstar, 100%, but he doesn't give me the same feeling he's going to put up this kind of work that s1mple did, or a ZywOo did in the future. So that was a little question that was asked to me. Overall, do I think that m0nesy can be better than s1mple? Certainly, but he's going to have to really step up in the next couple of years. And it's still a question to be asked. And he'd have to be having those lights out numbers. You need to be seeing that tier 1 opposition. Like, say the rest of the year is really good for G2 and we start to see m0nesy put up those numbers, then there's potential. But if we look, so we don't just do this year, we do the last 3 months. Last 3 months, he's looked better. If we go look at his event rating, EPL 1.28, last 4 groups 1.34. There is a huge chance, if this keeps going well for G2 and Hooksy's being the leader, that he could turn this around to be a great year. I think he may struggle to break the top 10. He's got the potential to do it, but he needs to stay this good. This is a nice improvement, right? This is, if we can start to see these level of numbers put up, now we're good. T2's giving him the freedom, they're giving him the space. Hunter said in the interview that they want him to be the superstar. You've got Nico, you've got Hunter, you've got people doing big damage, but they want m0nesy to be the superstar. They know what this AWP role can do. So hopefully that asked the guys question from Instagram. That was a little bit of fun to cover that.